you guys are doing great, and I hope you're just as excited as I am to start planning out our month of July. Before we go any further, it's time to reflect on the month of June. Even though I feel like June just started, I also feel like it's been like a million years since May, so I don't know, I always have like kind of a conflict with thinking it's really long and really short at the same time. But either way, we gotta go over what happened in June. I like to think about what kind of happened, what worked in the month, what didn't work in the month, what I want to do more of in the next month, and what I want to do less of in the next month. This spread has been adapted directly from Ryder Carroll, the OG bullet journaler himself, and I found it really helpful to reflect on what bullet journal spreads worked, but also on, what kind of worked in my life, what habits came up that maybe weren't so great that I should maybe try to like eliminate in the next month. One of those is I've just been on my phone kind of like the entire day, kind of subconsciously just like picking it up and checking it, and that just is something I need to be more aware of and that I need to stop because I want to just enjoy the beautiful earth. You know what I mean? Look outside. It's a great day. We don't need to be on our phone 24 hours a day. Another thing that was really cool was I started doing weekly spreads, so that was really fun, and you're going to be able to see that towards the end of this plan with me. I'll show you guys how I've been planning out my week, because literally this spread is killer. You will not want to miss it. It has been a game changer. If you're new here, I like to write the title of my notes pages on the side of the page. That's just kind of how it's been working well for me. I don't know why, part of my bullet journal experience is going with the flow. And flow is flow, so you just gotta go with it. Before I go into July, one more step is adding July to my index. I use a bullet journal, so my index is really important because I don't want to be flipping through an entire notebook just to get to one page, because that's 2 minutes of my life that I will never, ever, 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 ever get back. So if you don't know me, I guess maybe I should preface this with I really love hand lettering. I'm kind of obsessed with it. You'll see this in my bullet journal because I hand letter literally the title of every single spread. So, if you're looking for some sweet tips, I thought I would give you a couple in this video with specifically the word July in mind. There's probably 100 different things you can think about when you hand letter, and that I even think about when I hand letter, but a simple tip to hand lettering the word July is thinking about how the letter U and the letter Y look compared to each other. And what I mean by that is the swoop of the U and the swoop of the Y are the exact same. If you look at them as letters, they're the exact same thing in 2 different letters. So if you make that part of both of them the same looking, then it's going to look a lot more symmetrical in your letter, and I think it's going to look a lot better. If you see here, the first drawing, the U and the Y both start lower and come up higher. And you can see they look the same and they look really cute and symmetrical. The second one, the U starts lower, but the Y starts the same height as where it ends. And that's great and all, but you're definitely getting 2 different vibes from the letter, and you're getting 2 different looks, and that can impact the look of your lettering and the look of your word, because a lot of times what makes a word look good to a lot of people is simple details in making things look symmetrical and making things look really consistent in the word, because our eyes really love seeing symmetry and seeing consistency. So as you can see here in the word July I just lettered, trying to get that U and Y to look as similar as possible can make a really big difference. I also want to throw it out there that hand lettering is a skill that you will never kind of reach a point where you'll say, wow, I've gotten to the point where there's nothing to learn. You're always learning things and you're always practicing and improving. So, don't be so hard on yourself if you're just starting hand lettering. It takes a lot of practice, but it's the kind of thing where if you put the work in, you're going to get something really great out of it. And I found it to be such a great expression of creativity in my life, and it's super fun. And on top of that, it's really handy when you have to make your friend a card or customize wrapping paper, and you can just do their name and they're like, oh wow, your card's so cute, thank you, and then that makes their day. And that's just so great, making people happy. So Now I'm doing my monthly calendar. I like to do a vertical calendar, so each day gets one row and then I write my events along the side. I don't really do like a monthly theme. My monthly theme is like a splash of color. This month is that light pink color, and I just do it straight down in between my date and my day of the week. I just think that's like a good level of decoration for me. Everyone has a different preference of decoration for their bullet journal. I'm trying something new on the right side. In my last month, I recorded my goals on a separate piece of paper, and while I really liked kind of thinking about what my goals were and fleshing them out, I then didn't really look at that spread for the rest of the month and completely forgot about them until I went back and looked at the spread in July, which, you know, isn't really the point of monthly goals, I don't think. So, this is my solution. I'm going to put my main goals or my main focuses for the month on the page that my monthly calendar is on. So, whenever I flip to my monthly calendar, which is pretty much every single day, I can see my main focuses for the month, and hopefully that'll help me remember to focus on them. I'm kind of a visual person, so I really need to see something to remember it. If I don't see it, it's completely out of my mind. So I'm thinking this will be really helpful for me. Next, I'm just writing down some tasks for the month. This is a pretty standard task list. You know, I got things like, you know, make some fun spreads. You know, one thing that's helpful is creating actual actionable tasks for your goals. So one of my goals was to create fun spreads every week, and I wrote a list of a couple spreads that I want to do so I can kind of have some ideas instead of trying to think of everything from scratch and getting frustrated and hitting a roadblock with kind of meeting that goal. Something new I'm trying this month is tracking my spending in my bullet journal and trying to track the categories that I spend my money in as well, if that makes sense. I want to break down, you know, how much money I'm spending on clothing, stationery, all that good stuff, so I can better understand if, you know, I'm over budget one month, where maybe that an area that I could cut back on would be. I'm writing the first letter of each of my categories right now, and my plan is that when I write the item that I've purchased, for example, I buy a pair of pants, I would put a dot underneath the C column showing that it was a clothing purchase, and I'll insert a photo of it because I think that might be helpful, but I thought that would be a good way to categorize my items without having to add a lot of extra details that would make it really complicated and discourage me from actually writing in the spread. So besides that, I just had the item and then the cost as well, because those are kind of really important things, especially with the cost, because we are tracking our spending here. Finally, we have come to the last spread for now, which is my July weekly spread. This is new. I started it about 2 weeks ago, but it's been really great and I've been really enjoying it for making sure I do those tasks that I need to get done on a specific day, as well as really being able to focus in on my current week and really focus on what exactly is just going on in the week instead of getting overwhelmed with a whole month load of tasks. I essentially do the same line of color that I do in my monthly calendar, and I write down the days of the week. I believe I do 4 box spaces in between each day, if that helps anyone. On the other side of the page, I do similar to my monthly calendar. This is actually where I got the inspiration for that part of my spread from. I write my main focuses of the week. I usually do about 3, so it's not too many, and then just a random list of tasks that I have to do during the week. So that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this plan with me, and I will see you next time.